Welcome back to Monster Train, everyone. And here we are for another regular old-fashioned run. The Expert Challenge is giving us some trouble recently, but I got a nice streak going on the regular runs. So, back at it with random. Let's go and see what the RNG brings us today. Alright, back to our two favorite clans, the Melting Remnant and the Stygian. Been getting these a lot, but you know, that's okay. Solidifying some strategies, learning a lot. We got Wicklash. Could be good if we can get our hero to the burnout version. Sacred Wicks, bring some units back, alright, fine. And Mollusk Mage. Good with spells that either have attuned to multiply its magic power or just hit multiple times, which basically accomplishes the same idea of just getting it stacked on your spell more than the once. Unfortunately, we're starting with foregone powers, don't synergize with the Mollusk Mages very well, but could give us some discard synergies there. And we got our Dregs, of course, so let's check the artifact first. Deal 5 damage to an enemy unit when a burnout unit dies, or chance to apply spell weakness when they enter the train. Interesting. The Candle certainly does some work in the early game. You have the Dregs dying all the time, so... And this is an AoE as well. That's pretty important and pretty helpful. Tethys Scale can be good to throw some big spells at units that enter the train, but I think I'll go with the Candle. It's just better in the early game. Basically, it turns our Dregs into deal 5 damage AoE, which is quite helpful. And let's see which vector we get. Okay, we get the option between Burnout and Harvest. As I mentioned, the Wicklashes here make me want to go towards Burnout. Could get unlucky, not draw them in time, and have our champion die. We can try to reform him with Sacred Wicks if that happens, so there's some contingencies there. And obviously we can pick up some other cards that'll help us chug along as we continue the run. And he's just an absolutely excellent hero in the early game, as he one-shots basically anything. And units on each floor, again, because our Dregs get to explode and deal damage, this should be fairly safe. You expect to draw one Dreg in your opening hand usually, if not more. Okay, and we do in fact get exactly one, so we'll just drop that on the top floor, and when it dies, these guys will all explode. Fantastic news. And I think we'll plan to repeat that on the following turn with a new Dreg, so I'm not going to worry too much about clearing these off, and just play our Rector here on the bottom, killing the front unit. And... sure, I may as well put a Steward behind it. Just give one of these Frostbite. So yeah, I think as long as we draw some effect to extend our Burnout or the Sacred Wicks before too many things die, we'll be in great shape for this fight. Otherwise it could be a little scary. So again, get Drag up here as an AoE, make Steward up here to get our gold going, and I guess we may as well play the rest of these units too. Frostbite not doing much, as everything's dying anyway. Yeah, and this is exactly why I wanted the Candle. The scale might be better later in the run, but for now, just turning our Dregs into AoE is huge. Alright, and we got our Burnout extension, pretty lucky. So we should be good for the boss. And not really much else to do here. Might as well play our cards. And we have the other Wicklash, so easy fight. Fantastic, we took no damage. is get ourselves some extra cash, and here we have our option between good old stealth versus 2 ways to extend burnout, and I'm a big fan of Purifying Cleanse. It helps you to keep the hero going both in the burnout department as well as making sure that it stays alive. This version of Rector Flicker has a lot of health, so you often end up using it as a tank and having a way to heal it, especially when we don't have Awoken, can be quite helpful. So, more than happy to see a Purifying Cleanse. Alright, we can get a third Mollusk Mage, which has currently, I guess, Purifying Cleanse as a synergy, technically. Not much of one, so not too interested in that. The Ice Tornado would be good with the Mollusk Mages. Unfortunately, the amount of discard we have in the deck makes Permafrost not the most enticing, so I think I'll just take a Flash Freeze. It can hit a unit in the back, it can apply a bit of Frostbite for something a little tougher. Pretty decent card. And as usual, we'll be heading towards the Merchant of Steel, especially when there's no flag on the other side. Okay, and this can be interesting with Remnant units for sure. And then we get a Burnout and Battlestone. I don't think there's anything in the deck right now that wants these upgrades. We don't want like a Mollusk Mage to burn out or anything, but let's see what we find. Okay, we have the big Angry Sludge versus the Paraffin Enforcer. So this guy can do something with our Rector, of course. Stacking Rage on it can be powerful. That said, 3 Rage, so we're essentially adding 6 attack to the Rector every turn, which is not bad, and maybe we can fit a Dreg or something in there to also take advantage of that effect, but it's going to be hard to extend the burnout on Dregs or anything like that. We don't have a way to do that in mass right now. So I think I'd rather just pick up the Sludge, and it sits behind the Rector. They both hit hard, pretty decent. It doesn't give us a way to clear weaker enemies, but for now we can use the Dreg AoE for that purpose, and we'll find a way to do it later on. So again, I'm just a big fan of the Sludge. It just scales very quickly. Unfortunately, neither of those 2 units really works particularly well with what we have here, but we took the challenge. We have a lot of money, so I'm just going to give this a reroll, see if we can find multi-strike or at least an attack upgrade or something. Found a large stone. That one's a bit problematic, as this taking up 4 slots. It's a little bit tricky. We could try to have it with a parade of weak units in the front to sort of get additional benefit from Harvest, but I don't think I like that plan as much, so I'll just give it attack for now and save a slot. Not improving a lot here, which is usually a bad sign, but with our Rector being as strong as he is in the early game, I'm not too concerned about it. And similarly, I don't feel pressured to purge. Let's see where we're going next. Oh, there's another Merchant of Steel coming up, so we'll probably just head straight there rather than looking at a duplicate. Yeah, I like that idea. So yeah, let's just save our cash and go ahead and go. Spikes, not a concern. Our units have plenty of health. At least the ones we want to keep alive do. Alright. We do this, and I expect nothing to get past here at any point. Okay, lucky to see the Collector on this floor, though we could have killed one with Orgun Power in any case. So, yeah, I guess we might as well set up on floor 2. Just like, I'm gonna throw a mage here, whatever. Again, not a lot of this matters. Our bottom floor is just so incredibly strong right now. Toss this out. I don't know, play some more dregs, why the heck not. Alright, boss is here, boss is dying. Nice quick battle. Again, the Burnout Wrecker just so strong in the early game. That it's really hard to lose as long as you can make sure he actually sticks around for the bosses. And I will go ahead and even pick up a second Purifying Cleanse. Again, our champ will end up taking quite a bit of damage in the later fights, and I want to have a way to heal him up. So, good stuff there. Okay, Helical Chrysalis is a little bit more interesting with our Mollusk Mages as well as just as a standalone spell. Is that something we're going to focus on in this deck? Maybe, maybe not, but we have lots of zero costs anyway, so I don't mind one slightly more expensive card does a little more, so I'll pick it up. Perhaps we can just improve it, and it'll be an alright way to deal some damage. Yeah, I think well, do I go to the Merchant of Steel? It's really only for a single upgrade versus picking up another unit. The next Merchant of Steel is over here, and it looks like it's with some pretty good stuff as well, so I might actually just go to the flag instead. We certainly do need additional units. The duplicate, again, not that exciting right now. We can maybe pick up a third Purifying Cleanse or Whiplash or something. Let's give it a shot. Okay, we have a variety of Burnout synergies here. Lady of the Reformed could sit in front of our tank instead of pairing it with this sludge here and give us, give us additional stacks of Burnout so we don't have to worry about running out. Certainly not a bad plan, and one that can work pretty well. Or we can once again try to do something with this Enforcer, Rage. Not sure how much that really does for us, so I'm going to pick up the Lady. Don't know exactly what her plan is going to end up looking like yet, but she can probably fit into it somehow. And as always, check out the cave before any duplication, just in case. Okay, well we have tons of money, so let's chuck some of it at this cave and see what comes out. I'll even pay some fire health. Wow. Alright. Titan's Claw. Well, that's a pretty bad one, unfortunately, here, but you know, we had the spare cash, spare health, so even though it didn't pay out, I'm okay with having taken the risk. And yeah, I'll just take another Purifying Cleanse, I think, over anything else in this deck. Maybe at this point we can look at actually putting one of the Mollusk Mages on the Lady and Rector floor, and these become a bit better. That's an alright strategy. Makes it a bit harder for the sludge to get going, but we can just like throw dregs in front of it that'll die and power it up in time for when other stuff shows up. Okay, we got a small bottom floor. Not too worried about that. We'll just evacuate it and live at the top. We're not looking to fight these guys when they have full rage anyhow. So go ahead and toss this out, and I may as well just chuck a drag in the way to go ahead and clear these fellows out. And I mean, I guess I'll hit the boss for 25, sure. Alright, and now we'll get the sludge going at the top. We could get our mage as well. Go ahead and toss that in the back. Am I looking to clear these out once more? I think that's fine. This will come through and give us the hit we need to extend our burnout. So might as well take a little less damage. This guy not going to get a whole lot in terms of harvest triggers, but I think this floor should handle things plenty fine. And certainly want to kill this. It's a little too much damage. And I suppose I'll reform these dregs. And at this point, just put them up with our Harvest Man. They'll protect from any bombs that spawn, and Eventually, when they burn out, they'll give them some harvest triggers. Could end up doing something. And I don't really want to draw the smallest mage again, so I'll just drop the bottom here. Okay, I did forget we have some, excuse me, I'm a haste in this fight. But that should be alright as we get another drag going. And unfortunately, yeah, these foregone power is not looking great in this deck. They're big hard-hitting units, but play them anyway. And we managed to get this guy powered up, almost enough to kill here. Be nice for it to actually kill. I could Whiplash him to prevent 2 damage to the Pyre. How confident am I? Pretty confident, I think. Now we have another wave that's going to teleport up as well. That's pretty annoying. We'll certainly throw one of these out. Yeah, I think what I'll do here is play a Whiplash in order to get this kill, play a Cleanse in order to extend his burnout, and then just put a Whiplash on champion as well. And this doesn't do anything, no reason to play it. Alright, there's the boss, and again, might as well not leak. There's just no reason to. I don't really care about having these guys deal damage to the boss there, so just do it like that. I imagine this just kills pretty handily. Oh, it actually doesn't. Interesting. Alright, well, now it will. So, that's alright with me. Our lady's just not quite tough enough yet. We'll need to get her some more tanky stats or get her endless or something. Alright, let's see what we got. Ice and Pyre. Decent card, but not too excited about it. This deck doesn't really have a ton of synergies. Again, maybe the Mollusk Mages could do something there. It is attuned, but we're not applying spell weakness or anything, so it's just not that good. Ancient Synergy, big spell. We don't have that many spells in our deck at the moment, so it's a little weaker than usual. Still deal, what, 78 or something? Not bad. Maybe we could pick it up. I have to think about whether this Devour is potentially good here. So it is kind of a one-shot effect, unless you have a way to cause it to extinguish with a spell or whatever. It doesn't really contribute much during regular fights. But maybe if we can play it on the same floor as our champion, it can store up like 5 to 10 souls over the course of a fight and then deal 100 damage. That doesn't sound very good to me as I talk it over here. So I think it's Ancient Synergy or nothing. And while we do have some spare energy, I don't think we have this much, and this spell's a little weaker than usual, so I'll just pass there. Okay, and now we have our option of more units. Is any of this good? I'm still trying to figure out exactly what we're doing. So again, Lady, Rector Flicker, and probably the Mollusk Mage for the Purifying Cleanses is one of our floors. And Sludge wants to ideally sit at the bottom and score some triggers off of weaker things dying, so that makes me think Titan Sentry could be good. Again, if we can give it Endless, it applies a bunch of Frostbite, the weak units die, and we get our triggers, so that's pretty good. Incant, we have spells that are free, so we can get a couple of incant triggers going, but it doesn't feel like that's the direction this deck is really heading. And Tycoon, as always, just nice for gold. You can just put it somewhere, have some drags die in front of it, you make some cash, but I'm gonna go with this sentry here. We need to power it up before it's really useful, but it'll do alright. And I'm gonna go for card draw again. We have just lots of zero cost cards. Nothing too expensive outside the sludge. Space could be nice, potentially. Maybe we do that next time, just to be able to toss these guys in as AoEs, but it's mostly fine. Alright, and the steel merchant we want to head to is over the next circle, so our option here is an artifact with another banner and a remove. The artifact and the remove are definitely good. The banner, questionable if we want it. We sort of have 2 floors set up, so maybe we could use something on the 3rd. And over here we have a magic merchant and some cash. We really don't need this buyer health, we're at 60 already. So the merchant is fine, but not that important. Yeah, I'll just go this way, get our remove on. Okay, double incant triggers versus stronger pyre. We don't have any incant triggers yet. We are about to potentially pick up a Stygian unit, so that's something. This is interesting. It's one of those spots where, had we picked up the flag first, this would be a far more obvious choice, but now we have to decide if we want just a sure thing that sometimes can save you quite a bit of pyre health, and sometimes can just do nothing, versus the incant thing that can get overpowered, but might just be useless instead. I'm going to go for the more sure thing, I think. Perhaps a little less fun, but what can you do? And here we're not looking to reform, we'll just continue to make our champion stronger. 80 good stat line. And let's see. Well, Lost Golem with double incant would have been pretty interesting. As is, we have our option to pick up a Cold Celia. Or I suppose we could still pick up the totem, but I don't know how good that is, so I think it's this or nothing, and I'm leaning towards nothing. We'll just work on a 2-floor setup, it should be fine. This just does too much of the same thing that the shark over here does already, and we just don't need a second effect like that, so. This is a powerful effect, but I think I'll skip here. And as usual, Train Steward's quite bad. Alright, try to get through this fight and then power our units up a bit. Spikes, I think I'm okay with. Again, our units are pretty hefty, so it shouldn't be a problem, and artifacts can do some good stuff for us. Okay, and we got our combo that we wanted here, so that's good. Fire that off. The unfortunate part with this combination is that the frostbite happens at the end of turn, so our harvest triggers don't kick in quite at the right time, but that's okay. And then we'll set up our other floor at the top. And, oh right, this doesn't actually even kill, because this guy's an attack. Huh, interesting. Well, in any case, I'll play a Drake here to do some damage next turn. Get our lady online. Certainly get rid of this wave and go ahead and extend our duration here. And I don't see a ton of reason to play this drag, so I'll just try to get lucky with these. Yep, just applying more frostbite. And the harvest triggers are slowly starting to roll in here. Of course, as I mentioned, this guy really needs to be powered up because he's looking to like he's gonna die soon, but what can you do? Let's go ahead and look at this fellow, and yeah, I don't know, keep applying more frostbite and throwing out some dregs just for random damage. Alright, this is dying this turn. I'll probably go ahead and restore some health to it, given burnout still keeps it alive a little longer than it would have been otherwise. We got our Mollusk Mage, cool, and might as well restore more health. Don't really care about playing Steward too much. Alright, we get the Respite. Nothing really to do here. I guess I can make some additional dregs. Can't fit one on the top, so just place them here. And I'm sure. Okay, I'm not gonna do a whole lot with this Titan Sentry dying in a hit, though we can actually, again, give it some extra health. Let's see. So these guys will die after the first round, so it's 15, then 13, that's 28. So another heal actually helps. Puts us at quite a bit of damage, and we'll just keep extending our champion. And might as well apply some additional Frostbite. And it's almost dead already, great. I'm not doing a whole lot on this floor, but that's fine. Don't know why. It doesn't really matter what I do with these spells. Okay, pretty straightforward fight, and we got a Totem Fragment. Fine, not super helpful. We don't have a lot of hard-hitting spells, but, you know, better than nothing, so I'll take it. And let's see, we have a Remnant Host to summon some Giraffes. Memories of the Melted. Could be okay, we're not really running into energy issues. Votivary, not like that interested either. Let's see, so this can kill. So what I'm really interested in with the Remnant Host here is the ability to place it on our Rector floor, put it in the back behind the lady, and try to kill our own Remnant Host in order to summon the two Giraffes, because, you know, they deal a decent amount of damage. Though unbuffed, they're still not even that good. They deal 20 damage each. So this is effectively a 40 damage unit once we kill it, which isn't bad for one slot, I suppose. Might be something to think about. Just trying to see what ways we have to kill our own unit. There's obviously a Flash Freeze, and beyond that we can try to Wick Lash it to give it burnout, but then the burnout gets extended if the lady gets hit, so it's like a little bit awkward. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm unsure if this is actually correct, but maybe we can find a way to make it work here. And happy to pick up a Titan's Tooth here. We have some discard synergies. It's a strong card. As I mentioned here, we're interested in hitting the left, get to our Merchant of Steel, so let's once again get an artifact. Lots of artifacts this round, though. Not that many necessarily great ones, unfortunately. And once again, we get some mediocre options. We have one Consume card, so that's not too interesting. We'll just take the Firewall, keep Soul safer, sure. And see what we can do here. Okay, Endless, Incant, and Battlestone. As I mentioned earlier, Eternal Stone, very good with Shark. Happy to just have that die and then come back. Sometimes you can get some awkward turns where it ends up at low health, and so it dies at a weird time where the unit behind still gets hit, but we have these cleanses to sort of help out with that, and it's generally just a pretty strong strategy. Beyond that, Our Lady could maybe take Endless, but I think it's best on the Shark for sure, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then we could maybe give it a Battle Stone to make it slightly tougher. but we might want to look for an actual health stone for the full 25. There are waves in the later fights that have like two of the 2x15 guys. They can chew through your health pretty quickly, so I think the battle stone maybe is better served on the lady instead. We're looking to heal her anyway, so her max HP doesn't have to be as high, especially since she won't be taking the massive damage that is often present on the first floor. And like, neither of these is amazing, but I just want to get these units upgraded so I have to keep going to steel merchants, so I'll do that. And I don't think the incant is particularly good on anything. I could put it on a mollusk mage, but like, I'm just not that excited about the mollusk mages. We're kind of looking to phase those out. So let's just reroll. Okay, we continue to kind of brick here. Quick, not exactly what we're looking for. We could put it on the sludge, it's fine, but it has a good tank in front of it that doesn't mind getting hit anyway, so the quick's just not that useful. As I mentioned, I do want health on this. That one's at least a good hit. Another incant though. Like, we could put it on the lady, we're looking to throw some heals or whatever that way. But man, that is just not as good as giving it more health. So, unfortunately, it looks like we are going to have to go to another steel merchant to get our units finished up. So, I'll probably just ignore these two. Let's hit the cave, I suppose. Maybe something here changes what we want to do. Not likely with the historian here. We're, what, on the 5th circle already, so petty theft as usual, getting too late. So our options are the gratitude or the trinket. That'll make our pirate quite a bit stronger. We don't have any way to generate extra energy, so this is just 120 in the best case. So this could be interesting. We have a lot of gold right now. Are we gonna have a lot of gold at the end of the run though? Maybe not. But like, we do have the pyre wall and the boon of blacksmith already, so our pyre's looking pretty strong, and you know, this kind of synergizes with that idea. But and by the same token, because it's already stronger, maybe we don't need that, maybe we just take the gold. So I'll just take the gift of gratitude, not be too excited about it, unfortunately. And just take another look here. Yeah, these aren't too good. Is a purge something I'm interested in? Where am I going next time? Probably to the Merchant of Magic. So I don't want to overspend, but I could take like one purge. The first couple are pretty cheap, so I just get rid of some more stewards and move on with our lives. Pretty unexciting circle, unfortunately. Not what we wanted to see there. Okay, Spell Shield does basically nothing against us, so I'm more than happy to turn this on. We got the Sweet Boss, something to think about, but not ultimately concerned, I think, for our setup. Okay, bottom floor smaller means we don't want to deploy there, so we'll just go ahead and play our units further up. Not much of an issue. Get our Whiplash online. And do I want to kill these guys, or would I rather save them? I think I'd actually rather not kill them, so that when we draw our sludge next turn, which I believe is a guarantee at this point, we can get a bunch of harvest triggers. So, yeah, hold on to this guy as a bomb for later, perhaps. Okay, toss him in here, and yeah, we're only taking 8 damage, so well worth it, I think. And probably gonna apply the same logic here. Go ahead and apply some extra burnout. Unfortunately, these don't do much. I don't know if I should be saving this space for the whole remnant host plan. I'm not entirely sure how I'm making that happen yet, but I think the sledge is going to get out of control this fight, so I'm not too worried about it, and I kind of want to see if I can experiment. I guess another way to do it could be with these Sacred Wigs if we have the host die earlier in the fight, we can then bring it back. It'll have burnout. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky for sure. Okay, that said, we sort of got there. As we draw our Flash Freeze, the problem with that particular plan is that the lady isn't getting hit this turn, and as such, these will just immediately die. So now we have to think a little more creatively about whether we can do something with that. I could play this and simply apply a Wood Clash on it. It would burn down to one this turn, and then unfortunately this guy comes up, hits the lady, and it drops further. This is a lot of work to try and get 2 drafts in our backline, let me tell you, but the rest of this fight just isn't that interesting at the end of the day right now, so I'm trying to find something cool to do with this. I'm trying to see if we can both kill this and then somehow hurt our own lady in the same turn, but I don't think that's an option. So yeah, I guess for now I'll play this back here and put a Wood Clash on it, see if we can make something happen later. And in the meantime, I guess everything has Spell Shield, so the crystals don't do much. Let's just apply some Frostbite to that guy and to this guy. A lot to do here, and just extend these guys' burnout if we can. Continue to not play the dregs because we want these to die on this floor, so just throw out some Frostbite and call it a day. And you can see why I'm so excited to try and give this a multi-strike, because at 144 attack, it's just absolutely insane. Alright, and this is a good turn to just play our gift. Everything's under control, so go ahead and get our 120 gold, and yeah, not worry too much. Oh, perfect. This will burn out this turn, and something leaks to try and extend that the following turn, so cool, maybe we can make something happen here. Oh, of course, I'd mentioned and completely forgotten it's the sweet boss anyways. These will actually do nothing, but I think we'll be quite okay with our 182 hitting sludge. Yeah, I mean, I've already deployed one, so I may as well deploy more dregs just for additional damage. I think it drains some extra stacks of lifesteal as well, which could do something. And just deciding if I'd rather play a Titan's Tooth or maybe get this Wood Clash and Flash Freeze going. And we have a Remnant Host hiding in our Sacred Wicks, which I guess is more things for this to hit, so sure. Go ahead and toss this out. And like, these guys are gonna die anyway, so I think what I'll do is apply a little bit of Frostbite and Wood Clash our champion. Seems good to me. And okay, this isn't dying here because Sludge unfortunately doesn't have too much health, but that's alright. We'll continue buffing our champion. We should be able to finish the job. Apply a couple more stacks of Frostbite. fine here. Killed Lady up a bit. Alright, pretty smooth run so far. I'm sort of worried it's going to all turn bad at some point here. I made a ton of cash between the Purge and the reward. And don't need a second Sacred Wicks. I like the one in the deck, but more than that isn't really necessary. Crushing the Mice is actually sort of interesting. We do have the one floor we're basically not using. So that card can be good in that situation. And Mortal Entrapment can be a strong effect. Once again, we are going to Magic Merchant this round. Okay, so that could be an interesting one to pick up. We can just make it a little bit cheaper. It ends up quite strong, I think. And our boss is the one that weakens us. So our units are pretty big power this time, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Yeah, I'm actually going to try this and try to make it cheaper. It's a really powerful effect. And maybe take another Titan's Tooth, look to get those discard synergies going. Seems alright. Okay, let's see what we can find. Okay, we got a holdover, that's interesting. Might want to put on a Purifying Cleanse just to make sure we're okay. These things. Just trying to decide if I want to go to the cave before I start spending or after. If we get some sort of duplication event, then I guess I would want to have an improved spell. Yeah, I think I'll spend a bit and then go from there. Alright, so I definitely want to make this cheaper. I don't think that's the one I want to give holdover to with just 3 energy. That's going to end up draining us a little too much, I think. Though it is really fun against bosses to just stack a bunch of days before they even have a chance to do anything, and then they come down during the Relentless phase and just actually can't attack. But I'm happy to get a Purifying Cleanse, a holdover. Seems good. And the 20 magic power and consume can go on a Flash Freeze, I guess. The card's not too great in our deck, so let's just do that. Do a quick reroll. Permafrost. Probably not something we're interested in just because of the discard we have going. Another consume, another cost reduction, so yeah, I'll just make this one. The days is really far more important than damage on it, so that's what I'm interested in here. I can make this really powerful and just happen once, or I can leave it in the deck. Yeah, let's go nuts, sure. And the only thing I could see permafrosting is a Titan's Tooth. If you don't get the discarded, then you can kind of try to hold on to it until you get a chance, but I don't know if that synergy is worth 100 gold, so let's see what our cave gives us and maybe improve something from here. Okay, and we have our option of Bone Shine to heal 1 time, or the Bone Rattler to make our Pyre a bit stronger for the rest of the fight. This is kind of interesting and actually does work well with Permafreeze. You can just kind of play it on a turn where you're not doing anything, and it does the thing. Though again, with the discard we have, it's a little bit tricky to set that up maybe. Yeah, I mean the card consumes, so it's not ever in the way that much. We have lots of turns where we don't spend all of our mana, so even just giving our Pyre like 5 attack or whatever is decent. It does get in the way of drawing other cards, but our deck isn't that big. I'll take it and be medium excited. And finally heading off to our Vortex, certainly removing a Train Steward. Card's terrible in our deck. The foreground powers have gotten a little bit better since we picked up 2 Titan's Teeth, I guess is the correct nomenclature there. I could see removing a Mollusk Mage. They've not been doing a whole lot for us, so I think that'll be what I do. And once again, we can spend more money on our removals, but I'm happy to just continue saving. Try to have Merchant of Steel finally get our units finished up. That would be very nice. Let's fight Arceus here. Arcus? Arcus. That's what he's called. Okay. I like seeing these little guys. They work well for our plan to get lots of rage. Unfortunately, we got the rally situation going on the floor where we want to set up, but I will nevertheless play there and endeavor to give less stun to our Rector. And I have to consider whether I want to play this and actually have it hold over already, or if I'm better off trying to draw the rest of my deck and come back around to that, but I think I will. So play Whiplash, of course, and then just extend as much burn as I can. And I'll just play the smallest mage at the top. There's not really anything else we're doing up there, so you might as well be out of the way. Okay, and we got our combo here. Sounds good. And let's see. These guys aren't all dying, so a drag could eliminate them. I guess we have room for it on this floor, so we don't need delay. Let's just chuck it in the front, and they'll all explode. Works for me. And continue extending our burnout. Okay, rally doesn't bother us too much. Yeah, not a whole lot to say here. Stuff's just kind of dying. So, let's see, you're gonna die regardless, so I'm happy to continue playing this. And I'm just gonna play these dregs. If they die up here, we can maybe reform them and use them as a damage unit or something, who knows. If nothing else, they're out of our deck and out of the way. Doesn't seem like we'll need the AoE. And really, this exploding candle synergy was for the early fights where it did wonders, and now it's kind of outdated. We have our setup going with Titan Sentry, so they just will occasionally contribute, but for the most part not do too much for us. Okay, so we don't want to cast spells here if we can help it. We can chuck a big one of these, or try and get Titan's Tooth going. I'll toss out these, that'll let us get the kill and get more harvest going. No room for this drag. I guess I'll cast this just for the holdover. And then... yeah, this Remnant Host pickup really didn't pan out quite yet. Maybe the next Steel Merchant will do something. So for now, I'll get this going and just play it back here. 14 damage, not a lot, but it'll do something. Draw our Bone Rattler, and yeah, it's turns like these where I'm happy to draw this because our entire hand costs 0, so we might as well toss this out. If anything does get up here, I'll have a harder time. And in the meantime, continue doing our cleanses, and really not much else to do here. Okay, so this gets to die right before the boss. That's perfect timing for us. Oh, this is slightly awkward. I would have liked to get a Mortal Entrapment going up here, though I might do it on this guy who looks like he's getting through, unfortunately. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do him some damage and daze. Go ahead and apply even more damage. And we can actually set up our Titan's Tooth as well, so that should kill very nicely. I guess there's one more turn before the boss actually shows up, but it's alright. Take our licks here. Continue healing and extending burnout. Applying some Whiplash and sure, no frostbite, sir. Alright, here comes the boss. Not doing a ton on this floor, but that's alright. Really expecting this floor to carry the weight for us. Alright, nice. So applying lots of frostbite there. And hopefully this should be enough. Oh, it is not. Okay. That's cause for some concern. We get to replay the sentry up here at least to buy some time and apply more frostbite later on. And I guess the Remnant Host will have to play as well. In the meantime, go ahead and do that. Didn't really change the math very much, unfortunately. Let's see. So if I give this burnout 3, I don't know if this does much of anything, but try it. So this is a bad sign, though again, our creatures do need to be powered up. It's saying, hopefully we can survive this fight. It's not 100% clear to me at the moment. Spell weakness might have done something, but it didn't. So let's see, we get to throw more frostbite at it and apply Whiplash somewhere for additional damage. Okay, the buffs to the pyre might end up getting it done here. Okay, close call there for sure. Clearly our deck is not where it needs to be, but that's what the next floor is for. Okay, so Intent on Death finally lets us potentially do something with our silly Remnant Host. We can trigger that a few times and have a whole army of the drafts back there that could do something interesting. Beyond that, doesn't accomplish much, I don't think, but I think it's a worthwhile synergy, and these other cards, not really what I'm looking for. So pick that up, and have to decide exactly what we want to do. Might be even more draw. We still aren't running into too many energy issues, and I don't know what extra space would do for us outside of being able to toss these dregs here and there, which is fine, certainly, but could let us play a Mollusk Mage somewhere. It's just not that interesting. I think I'd rather make sure we draw all the cards we need. Alright, and hoping for a big store here. We have tons of cash, so that's not a restriction. We just need to yeah, get things going. Okay, large stone. Not unfortunately where we want to be. Just don't have room. The health is good. The health on the lady is phenomenal. We definitely want that. And then I did mention I wanted to potentially give this burnout so that it just sort of kills itself. But now that we have the plan of maybe trying to play the intent on death, that's less good, but I'm gonna do it. We can do some combination of those things, and this at least makes the card a little bit more usable for us. Man, just refusing to give us multi-strike here for a big guy, which is really a shame. I probably can't visit another one of these, so I'll just have to give him something and be upset, especially since these aren't even great upgrades for it. But I guess between quick and health, I'll just give him health for when the tank in front of him dies, and for setup and stuff it'll help. But man, not what we wanted to see. Alright, not interested in Harvest, so we'll just go for the Giant Champion here. And I'm worried for us. We just are not dealing quite enough damage. Our tanks aren't quite big enough, though the lady getting extra health kind of helps there. So we'll have to hope that we can get through it. Yeah, I have a feeling the last boss might just have a little too much health for us right now. Okay, the final boss is the next circle. I'm gonna continue saving cash. There's just not that much I'm like super excited to remove, and trinkets could maybe save this run, so. Okay, and for once I'm not too scared of this, as again, the direct explosions should be pretty good here. Hopefully we'll find one in the early turns. And we have that Pyro Armor as well to take advantage of. Alright. Let's see. We did not find a Dreg, but we found a Remnant Host, which is pretty decent as well. We also have this Titan's Tooth we can maybe set up. Do we have enough energy for everything? Shockingly, yes. So we'll set these guys up on this floor, and then play the Rector in the front, and this thing in the back, and this will burn out and kill all these. That's great for us. Might as well do one of these, and just have to decide where we want all this frostbite to go. And I suppose since this stuff is all dying anyway, it may as well be here. Kill this guy so we can get more junk in our deck. Alright, and we get our lady. Of course, there wouldn't be space for her if we played in that order. Well, these will die, so a lesson, certainly, but hopefully not the end of the day. Though not the fight where we wanted to make this mistake, I'll say that much. Let's think about what we can do with that. Probably happy to daze this, though it doesn't actually matter that much. Maybe I'd rather just get another Titan's Tooth going. Certainly want to continue healing our champion. I guess I could try to save one of these as well, why not? Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to play this first. If it discards Titan's Tooth, we get to do some other stuff. If it discards something else, we'll just play Titan's Tooth. No big deal. Alright, doing fine up here, doing fine here, so we're still in decent shape. Though our damage is a little bit lacking here. Not that the lady would have necessarily helped much with that, but let's see, definitely continue healing you, and I guess I'll just toss this out. Should help us get access here. And yeah, at this point, getting a little bit desperate. Toss the drag out for some damage, and just apply more frostbite. Luckily, our unit here getting pretty powerful at least. So obviously, play that. Continue doing this. Yeah, get rid of that one, and let's see what can we get back here. Nothing too great, though it would clear some of this stuff out, which might be worth it. Yeah, I think there's no reason to save this really, so let's just go ahead and toss some units here. Do a little bit of damage. That looks like the correct order to me. And then we just have to figure out where this flash freeze is going. Can we kill this guy so that we can actually hit with our champion? That would be nice. You're taking 91. Yeah, this looks like it'll clear you out, so great. It looks like we're gonna be just barely okay, so I guess that's something. Definitely get rid of this and stack those on there. Give this a little bit more burnout as well. Just more frostbite everywhere. The champion really holding down the fort here. Awkward intent on death, but what can you do? Do like applying more wood clash here, and not much else we can do, so throw this out. And throw these guys out there. Get the lady back, so go ahead and deploy her. A little bit extra. I do want to heal this to full, so I'll start using Purifying Cleanse there. And unfortunately can't use the Immortal Entrapment quite yet. Would be very nice, but we'll have to settle for this. I guess we can use it on him just for the days, sure. Okay, and heal that. Let's see, does this matter? This math is a little bit, let's see, 109. So 4 times is less, 5 times is more, and like 6 points won't change that, I'm pretty sure. Go ahead and keep applying these. Keep applying these. I guess at this point we prepare for the worst and give this guy some frostbite. But I think we're okay. Yep. So, made a big mistake early on, though I don't think it actually ended up mattering that much, and we managed to save a bunch of fire health with all our burnout units exploding, so... scary fight, but nevertheless a good one in the end. Second Remnant Host I don't think is where we want to be, even though one has been somewhat tricky to use. I don't think I want these things either, so I'll go ahead and skip here. And we have our choice of dazing enemy units, getting some free value on the song, or the stone doesn't really fit anywhere, so certainly not this. These are both interesting. The Frenzied Swarm obviously can save us a bunch of health, though it is awkward on the Titan Sentry floor, I will say that. Yeah, I don't think our tanks mind getting hit all that much. I might take the Siren Song, though, that can just kind of help. Our Pyre's pretty strong as well, so... Okay. We did finally decide we're not going to more steel merchants, so we're looking to go left here, which is totally fine. And let's see if we can buy 800 gold worth of trinkets to save this run. Okay, Cuddlebeard. Reasonable start for sure. It makes Disapply 5 instead of 3, which adds up as you're getting hit by multiple minions. Certainly something I'll buy. Rules of Containment, actually an interesting combination as well. They would enter with 4 instead of 2. So that's a little bit of damage to add to basically everything. But I don't think it's quite worth it here, and Forgotten Names doesn't really do anything for us, so let's check out the next one. Okay, friendly units gaining rage when they lose a stack of burnout is actually really, really good. So I'm happy to see that one. And so then we have to decide between buying this or spending some money on magic upgrades, and we'll probably do the latter here. Okay. Having this apply 20 Frostbite would have been cool. Unfortunately, we give it Consume. I guess we could try it on one of the Titan's Tooths. More magic power and Consume. Not really that excited about that. Cost reduction. I mean, definitely something I want. Just have to decide where. I'll give this a shot. 22 Frostbite is a heck of a lot, and we're looking to play these by discarding them anyway, so... Seems alright. And I'll reduce the cost on Wicklash. It's a card I'm happy to play, typically. And maybe spend the last 90 gold on Purging, though for now... we have to actually decide what we want to purge. It's not totally clear to me in this deck. The Mollusk Mage has been certainly unimpressive. I guess the dregs, similarly, aren't really doing a whole lot for us. They're occasionally exploding. So, yeah, I think I'll get rid of them. Alright, zeroed out our gold. Hopefully this is enough to get us through the boss. Let's see if that's true or not. Looks like we're in the hard-hitting universe of the Shadewings, so certainly glad this has Endless. This guy's unfortunately going to get Torpire, but you know what, we have that 15 armor. This is a pretty awkward starting hand for sure, but you know, at least we get to eliminate the back unit here, that's good. And get our Rector started. He's tough enough that he can survive without a tank for quite some time here. We'll just go ahead and give him tons of burnout. The Rage counteracting the sap pretty nicely. Yeah, you can see already the 60 health just not lasting very long here. We'll probably end up having to give us a little bit of healing just to make the sludge not take quite as much damage. So play our sludge in the back. Play a lady over here. And yeah, I'm gonna heal this just a bit. Still dies, but survives long enough so that these sludge isn't taking much damage, which is great. It's actually not clear to me how this is happening. 10, and this hits for 30. Shouldn't this unit be hitting the sludge? Oh, now it's a burnout unit, so when it dies, they'll die. Huh, that's kind of cute, actually. And the only other thing we can do is this Foregone Power, so we may as well play that. lord, they're coming hard. Yeah, it's just gonna be dying every turn, but what can you do? And here we can deploy a dreg to clear this out for free. That seems good to me. I do want to continue healing the lady here. We can take a little bit of damage on the sledge before it becomes a concern. You haven't taken damage yet. That's unfortunate. I would like to start mortal entrapping you, but it is what it is. I guess we'll daze this thing, and I'm not going to play this for 5, I don't think. That makes a ton of sense. Just toss this out. We got again, the sentry back. It's actually kind of bad that he's not dying and ending up at 10 instead, but not a ton we can do about it. And here we get our Remnant Host. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's going to be any off turns for the lady, but you know, we can put it in the back, and then we have our Intent on Death still on the deck, so that'll end up doing something at some point. And it's going to heal, and I would really like to discard this, so I'm going to start by playing a foregone power just to reduce the chances of it discarding the other one. If it discards a flash freeze, that's okay for us. Okay, got the worst possible universe here. This just doesn't do that much to the Pyre at the end of the day, so I'm going to use this on one of these lower units here, just to get that Frostbite taken away. Okay, and once again, we're going to be looking to restore a little bit of health to this to save health on the back unit. And then try to solve this situation, which we did get the Intent on Death. That's really good. Get to put these guys in and immediately give one of them Whiplash for a little bit of added damage. We can once again solve this with a Dreg. Dreg's still doing something for us. That's pretty cool. And let's see. This guy's a little bit of a problem, but at least he has a ton of Frostbite going. So I think we'll just apply a bit of Frostbite over here. Call that done. Lots of rage happening on that floor, and a big fan. This unfortunately won't end up doing that much against the boss just because of the Titan Sentry's low health at the end of the day, but we do what we can. Alright, definitely want you to survive if you could, that'd be great. Continue stacking Whiplash on the furthest back unit here. Well, the furthest back multi-striking unit in any case. Okay, you're gonna just do one hit. I don't think I can stop that. Yeah, I could apply a bunch more Frostbite. I could Sacred Wicks for something. I suppose there's not a ton of reason to hold on to this at this point. We'll toss these guys out here and have them do something next turn as well. And apply Frostbite from here, seems good. We need to draw some more heals, unfortunately, for our lady to not be in a ton of trouble here. Alright, we get all of them. That's phenomenal news. Let's see how's down here doing. Not too great. So this last one might have to go on the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and Intent on Death once more. Unfortunately reaching our unit limit, but, you know, it's something still. And here the dregs will at least make sure these smaller guys die. Alright, let's think about what's happening So we actually want this to die, but that's going to happen regardless, even if we give it 15 extra health. We would like this to not take the 30 so that I can get an extra hit against the boss, but it might be more important just to make sure the lady is as healthy as possible. This is really the big damage floor. One more hit from this guy would be nice, but it's not ultimately what's going to decide the game, I don't think, so I'd rather make sure the lady is at as close to maximum as possible. And not a lot I can do with these, so I'll just toss them out here. Taking small bits of damage here and there. Alright, obviously get our Titan Sentry online. Yeah, doing barely anything to the boss. That's actually dying, that's good news. Would have liked to kill this actually, but it doesn't look like we have that possibility. So we'll daze the boss. Wow, that's quite a bit more damage actually. Very nice. Don't think this is going to make any difference anymore, so I'll just get it out of the deck. And I don't think any of this matters much. Just toss out some Frostbite. Got 65 Frostbite, that's pretty good. And the boss is dying. Fantastic news for us. Do much else here, but that's pretty cool. End up with this weird plan of trying to spawn drafts out of the Remnant host to work. It's pretty exciting, and our champion, of course, doing a good job, just being really big. And yeah, I think the Phase First Blade really did end up helping in the end. I don't know about the Cuddlebeard, it certainly didn't hurt, but you can see these drafts are getting pretty large numbers of damage here, and as this fight continues, they'll get larger and larger thanks to this rage. So let's watch that play out. Yeah, I mean, each stack of rage is plus 2 attack and then multi-strike, of course, so it's just a lot over the course of this long fight. So, there we have it. We took a little bit of damage, but you know, our pyre was extra tough, so we're alright with it. Ended up taking down the boss, and once more getting the same 2 plans, but at least we went with a somewhat different strategy this time. Got to play around with the Burnout Rector Flicker and make some drafts and do some interesting stuff. Got a shark, so I think interesting enough run, different from the others we've had, and a successful one as well, so that's always nice to see. Continue our streak, and maybe we'll try another challenge next time, see if we can break that bad streak. For now, thank you for watching.